get to our strategy session. Joining us, Democratic strategist Maria Cardona. She's a principal at the Dewey Square Group here in Washington. Also joining us, our CNN political contributor, the Republican strategist, Ed Rollins. Guys, thanks very much for coming in. I want to play this little clip just hours after the Don't Ask, Don't Tell repeal was approved by Congress, signed into law by the president. He had this exchange, the president, with ABC's Jake Tapper. Listen to this.
Is it intellectually consistent to say that gay and lesbians should be able to fight and die for this country, but they should not be able to marry the people they love?
My feelings about this are constantly evolving. I struggle with this. I have friends. I have people who work for me who are in powerful, strong, long-lasting gay or lesbian unions. And they are extraordinary people. And this is something that means a lot to them, and they care deeply about. At this point, what I've said is that my baseline is a strong civil union that provides them the protections and the legal rights that married couples have.
All right, Maria, if his position on gay marriage continues to evolve between now and 2012, and he comes out and says, you know what, I believe gay Americans should have the right to get married, how will that play in his re-election bid?
Well, that's a great question, and I think if he does decide to do that, I think that he will be able to communicate to the American people why he arrived there. But importantly, Wolf, I don't think he needs to finish that evolution and end up there before 2012, especially after the monumental repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. He enjoys incredibly strong standing among the gay and lesbian community, and they understand that they have no better ally in the White House than this president and what he has done to fight for the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And in addition to that, his stance on where things are right now in terms of his beliefs, that he believes in strong civil unions that give the real legal protections that all married couples have, that at the end of the day is what most gay and lesbian couples want, and that is the bottom line for them.
How would it play, Ed, if he does evolve and come out flatly in favor of gay marriage?
Well, first of all, marriages have always been about state issues. You don't go to the federal government and get a marriage license. You go to a state entity or city or what have you. I think if he crosses that baseline, and I agree with what Maria said, I think he will basically energize an opposite base from the gay and lesbian community. I think the Christian right, other entities that have been in the battlefield many times when they've tried to change these at the state level, I think it'll work to his detriment. And I think to a certain extent, it'll as I speak as a conservative and a Republican, it'll energize our political base like it's never been energized before.
I want to show you this, switching gears to Mitt Romney and the race for the White House in 2012, the Republican nomination. Take a look at Mitt Romney's holiday card that he sent out. It shows him, his 14 grandchildren, and a inscription at the bottom that says, guess which grandchild heard that Papa might run again. Very cute. Ed, you worked for Mike Huckabee during the last Republican presidential campaign against Mitt Romney, but he's making it pretty clear he's serious about this once again.
Oh, I think he's been serious. I don't think he's ever stopped. I would assume it's all 12 of those gorgeous grandchildren that he has. It's a great-looking family. The more fundamental question is, what's the backdrop? He's got 5, 6 houses now. Is that California? Is that New Hampshire? Is that Iowa? Where's he living these days? And I think that'll have a lot to do with where he runs. I expect him to be in the mix. He'll probably be the first one out of the box. He'll be a very credible candidate. And Mike Huckabee or anybody else has to go out and beat him again as they did the last time.
At this very, very early point, Maria, as a Democrat, who scares you the most?
Well, it's interesting because right now in most of the polls, especially after this overwhelmingly historic lame duck session, I think that Obama is the one that scares most of all of the GOP contenders more than they have.
But which Republican scares you the most?
I don't think that really one stands out, Wolf, and I think it's because right now they are all flawed candidates against President Obama. You can point to any one of them, and whether it's Mitt Romney, who has problems with the conservative base, has problems with flip-flopping, has problems with having the one to have approved and pushed for Romney Care in Massachusetts, and the conservative base does not like that, or Sarah Palin, who clearly doesn't have the heft intellectually, many people believe, even among the GOP base, to be president. All of them have specific there's not one that stands out to me, Wolf, in saying, oh my goodness, that is the one that I would not want President Obama to run against right now.
Any of them stand out for you as the strongest right now? And don't say Mike Huckabee, because you work for him.
I won't. He's a Fox commentator doing very well. You know, my sense is 3 weeks does not make a presidency. I can't tell you who's going to emerge. We've got some very strong governors that are going to be running, and I think to a certain extent, one of them with lots more experience than anybody who had last time will be the challenger. You can't tell what's going to happen in a year or 2 years. A year from now, we'll basically be on the verge of the Iowa and New Hampshire primaries, and we'll have a much better idea who's emerging. But I promise you this thing, President Obama will have a real battle on his hand.
I'm going to leave you guys with this little clip from Conan O'Brien on our sister network, TBS. He took this little shot at Sarah Palin, who may be running for president next year as well. Watch this.
No, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was just on TV, and did you notice they updated it to make the Rudolph story a little more contemporary? And I don't know if they should have, but take a look.
Something wrong with your nose? My name's Clarice. Hi. Rudolph? I think you're cute.
It's a great feeling of accomplishment.
Wow. All right, I'm not going to make you guys comment on that.
Thank you.
Oh, let's. Come on.
We'll leave it alone. You guys can think about it, though. Thanks very much,
Thank you,
Ed
Wolf.
and Marie.